All right. Do we have Jordan Redden, who's on page 2 and 3 of the misdemeanor docket?
He's a medical reset, Your Honor.
Jordan Redden, Redden. We will sign an order to transfer Mr. Redden to Judge Lerner Wren's division.
And I'll let her Jade know.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right, we're back on the docket. Good afternoon, everyone, for our afternoon docket. And we're going to deal with the first appearance matters, and then we will go to the hearing docket. I'm calling on page 7, there's Alex Reyes. Is Mr. Reyes there?
Here you are.
All right, we're going to handle Mr. Reyes. Is everyone ready to proceed with Mr. Reyes? All right. Mr. Reyes, you're before the court today for 1 count of resisting officer without violence, and count 2 is felony violation of probation. Sir, that's a no bond hold on the probation matter, and you will be before your division judge tomorrow at 8:30. I find probable cause as to count 1, and your bond on count 1 is $100. Good luck, sir.
That's it.
That's it, sir. All right, let's go to the top of the page. Rosetta Francis.
North Broward.
Ms. Francis, you're before the court. You're before the court this afternoon for 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and count 2 is aggravated battery causing bodily harm.
Ma'am,
don't say no, ma'am. Don't talk about the facts of the case.
I don't want you to talk about the facts of your case. Today is not your trial. Right now, we're just making a determination and setting a bond. Okay? So if you are going to talk about your case, then my advice to you would not. If you want to say something in regards to setting your bond, I will hear from you.
Ma'am, I have a 1-year-old baby at home that I need to go home to.
Okay.
I can tell the court, Judge, I did have a chance to speak to her that she has been a resident here for 11 years. She is single. She says that she does have some money, but not a lot of money. She does, as she indicated, has a 1-year-old child that she needs to get back out to. Based on that, Judge, I'm asking that the court set the bond. I'm not sure the state hasn't indicated yet whether or not she has any prior record, but I would ask the court to consider an ROR or the straight standard pretrial release.
Okay.
And I would be opposing a straight ROR. I am concerned. She threatened the victim with a knife and ultimately cutting him with a knife. And also has a prior arrest in 2014 for domestic violence battery against a different alleged victim that was dropped. I'd be requesting a $7,500 bond on count 1, a $10,000 bond on count 2, and no victim contact.
Judge, as I indicated before, she has very little money. She might be able to afford like a $2,000 bond, but probably nothing.
Your Honor.
Ma'am, please don't talk about the facts or anything, okay, right now?
Crucified for something I didn't do.
All right. Based on the allegations in the probable cause affidavit, I am going to impose $2,000 on each count, and that's going to be plus level 2 GPS. Ma'am, no victim contact until further order of the court. And
Ma'am,
yes.
victim is still trying to me.
Ma'am, please don't talk about the facts, please.
Don't talk about the facts of the case, and no, you have a responsibility to not have any contact with the victim in this case. Do you understand?
I don't want to go away. I was trying to get the police to take them away, to go away.
Emily Leon.
I was the one that called the police 3 times.
Okay, ma'am. You speak with your attorney, okay? All right, let's go to the next person, Josiah Hamilton.
Hey,
Mr. Hamilton, Mr. Hamilton is before the court for aggravated assault on a person 65 years or older. And I do find probable cause. Does the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, I'd be requesting a $15,000 bond in order of no victim contact. Based on the allegations, the victim's age, I do have a concern, based on the threats made, that if Mr. Hamilton were to try to follow through with these threats, the victim would have a limited ability to protect himself.
Judge, we're seeking that $7,500. All of his life he's lived here, no kids, doesn't currently have a job, although he does have his own business that he needs to get back to for pressure washing. And concern for safety of the community could be ameliorated by GPS tracking. In light of that, I'm asking for $7,500.
Well, where does Mr. Hamilton live? Because this incident is allegedly occurred at the home of his grandparents and his mother, and it seems like that's where he also resides.
He can go live with his father.
Right. His father did appear on the scene and was not able to control him. I am going to impose a bond of $10,000 with a GPS, no victim contact. Denver Jarvis. Thanks. Mr. Jarvis is before the court for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. All right, I do find probable cause. I'll hear from the parties as to bond. What is it? Okay.
The magistrate.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Linder.
Your Honor, I'll be requesting a $6,500 bond in an order of no victim contact. Noting Mr. Jarvis was arrested last year for domestic violence battery against a different alleged victim. In 2008 for domestic violence battery against a different alleged victim. Both those cases were dropped. Arrested for another battery in 98, that was dropped. He had a DUI property damage in 05.
No objection.
All right. I'll impose a $6,500. All right, good luck, Mr. Jarvis. Angelina Danin.
Your Honor, there's no contact on that?
No victim contact on Mr. Davis. Yes. Angelina Danin. Thank you. All right, ma'am, you are before the court for one count of possession of heroin. I do find probable cause. These are parties who should be heard as to bond.
I wasn't asking for any kind of modification.
Okay, no priors?
I'm checking that right now.
Okay,
Judge, I had an opportunity to speak to her. I can tell the court that she's lived here all of her life, that she's single. She's not currently working, doesn't have any money in the bank. She indicated that her mom possibly could bond her out. I did speak to her mom, and her mom said, well, financially she could bond her out. I don't believe she's going to bond her out at this point because she was concerned about her safety. So, based on that, I don't know that she has money to post a bond, so I would ask that she be released to pretrial services.
I have no objection to that, Judge.
my mom's not gonna post a bond.
Not at this point, no.
All right,
Your Honor had asked about priors. Theft in 2015 and a possession of alprazolam and lorazepam in 2013.
okay. All right, Ms. Danon, I am going to release you to pretrial supervision services with random testing, with random drug and alcohol testing.
Okay, and when will I be released?
They will give you the information, and I don't know exactly what time you'll be released, but as soon as you're released, or within 24 hours of your release, you need to go to the pretrial supervision office.
Okay, I have it.
All right,
Thank you.
okay. Yes. Emily Leon. Thank you. Jasmine Moss. Miss Moss at the main. Miss Moss.
Yes.
You're before the court for count 1 is assault on an officer, 2 is battery on an officer, and 3 is resisting without violence.
Michelle, do we need history? Do we need history?
I do find probable cause. I'll hear as to bonds.
Your Honor, she's asking for pretrial release. She's lived here 20 years. She has a part-time job at Little Caesars, but she doesn't have the ability to make a monetary bond.
Okay.
And I don't believe she has felony priors.
Any priors? No?
I'm checking.
Oh, okay. Those no pros? Oh. Okay. All right, I'll release Ms. Moss to pretrial supervision.
Can we have a map, Deputy? Thank you.
When will I be getting out?
Tonight. You need to report by tomorrow noon, okay?
Carice Picard. Ms. Picard, you're before the court for 1 count of driving while license suspended. I do find probable cause. Mr. Bond.
Picard is currently on pretrial supervision in case number 193118 MM10A. She was just released from custody to pretrial on March 23rd, 2019 on a domestic battery, touch strike battery. At this time, we're requesting a revocation of supervision.
And Your Honor, she's been here for 20 years, so we're asking that you set bond at $1,000. On the one, if you do revoke, she doesn't have the ability to make much of a monetary bond.
Okay. All right, Ms. Picard, on case number 193118 MM10A, You were placed on pretrial supervision on a charge of touch or strike, battery, domestic violence. I am going to revoke the pretrial supervision, and I will impose a bond of $1,000, and the same conditions of your release still exist if there's a no. Dominic Gonzalez.
Conti.
Mr. Gonzalez, you're before the court for one count of, it's a misdemeanor petty theft.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a bond of $500 that's attached to it, so, yeah.
I apologize, Judge. This new capias predated. He's here for 2 other
Over at the main jail, can you turn off the mic, please? We're getting a lot of feedback. Thank you. All right, Mr. Faberg.
Yes, Judge. He's here. Counts 1 and 2, I believe, are violations of probation. This charge predates that, so it would have no effect on it. He wanted, based on that, he wanted to try to work out this case.
Okay. Does the state have an offer for,
This
isn't a felony.
oh, is that true, or you're just? No, they, right. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer from the state would be an adjudication, court for time served.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, if you wish to resolve the petty theft charge, the sentence will be adjudication and time served.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Gonzalez, you understand everything that's going on here today?
Yes, it's a little noisy, but I understand.
I know, it's noisy over here too, so. Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you're giving up that right?
Absolutely.
And have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Gonzalez?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence is adjudication and time served.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Court costs, yes, 6 months to pay. All right, Rashad Adams.
Yes, ma'am. Think about it.
Otherwise, someone from the outside. Go ahead and sit down, okay?
All right, Mr. Adams, you're before the court for trespassing, occupied structure, or conveyance. And I do find probable cause. What does
Your Honor, he says he can't make a monetary bond, and we're asking for standard pretrial.
Okay. State.
Just checking to see if there are prior failures to appear. I do see prior failures to appear. If he's interested, the offer would be an adjudication, time served, no return.
Would Your Honor be willing to give him standard pretrial release, Judge?
Well, what is Did he hear what the offer is and he doesn't want it? I just want to make sure. I'm not telling him to do either way.
Sure. We went back and forth a couple times, and he asked me would that be in his best interest, and I told him if he resolve it, and I said, well, I don't know what would be in your best interest.
All right,
So
I'll
there was
release
some
him.
back and forth.
All right, I'll release him to pretrial supervision.
You need to report by noon tomorrow. Mm-hmm. If you get out today would be good. Before 3.
Sir, as soon as you're able to go to pretrial supervision, you need to go. And if you don't go, you'll be arrested. Do you understand that?
If I don't go?
If you don't go, yes.
Yes.
All right, good luck, sir. Jorge Ledesma. Mr. Ledesma, you're before the court for count 1, driving while licenses.
Your Honor?
Yes.
He requests Spanish interpreter.
Okay.
She said that she called for them.
All right, so we'll recall him when the interpreter is here. Thank you. David Dowdy. All right, Mr. Dowdy, the PC is a little bit. The whole circumstances in this PC is a little bit interesting. So Mr. Dowdy is before the court for a DUI and count 2's license not carried. It looks like Bernard Major is the reporting. Right, so we have a will witness issue. So as to the DUI, I find no probable cause. Yes. I'm listening, Mr.
I don't
Linder.
understand. I mean, we do. There is
Who's
a will.
Bernard? Who's Bernard Major? You see?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
He is. He's not someone that when the officers arrived, he was at some other place. That Mr. Major looked like he followed him to a place. They thought he was having a stroke, and somebody put him in his car.
But even so, even if that's the case, even if someone put, I mean, I still don't understand, Your Honor. There is a person that witnessed him operating his motor vehicle, advised law enforcement he observed him operating his motor vehicle. Law enforcement conducted an
investigation. The person is not
investigation.
an officer.
He doesn't have to.
And then the next time that they see him. All right, I missed the part where Major saw him, got in the car, drive.
Okay.
All right, okay. I do find probable cause. I had to read it 3 more times. All right. Well, here's the bond on On Mr. Dowdy. Does he have priors?
He does have a prior DUI. It's dated. It's from '06. I wasn't necessarily going to be looking for any bond modification. I don't know if Mr. Sanders was going to.
No objection to the same.
All right, so we'll leave it at $1,000. Good luck, sir. Christopher Cisco. On Cisco? Okay. All right. You can go ahead, Mr. Fabric.
Judge, the objection, unless I missed it, and I did try to read this 2 or 3 times, but I don't believe there was a dollar amount listed as to what was taken. Based on that, I would object.
No, right, there wasn't, and his co-defendant was before the court this morning, and I know there was a dollar amount in that affidavit, but this one.
Well, Your Honor, it would appear that they were acting in concert, and while it isn't in front of you at this point, I know you did find probable cause for grand theft against his co-defendant this morning, and even though it's not in his, it still was contained in a sworn affidavit.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Fabric, you weren't here this morning, but his co-defendant was here, and they had it, that the amounts for the both of them. I don't know why they didn't put it in this one. So, Mr. Cisco, you're before the court for 1 count of retail theft, coordinating with others, and count 2 is grand theft. And I do find probable cause. Does Mr. Cisco wish to be heard as to his bond? Does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
Judge, he is seeking pretrial release, standard pretrial release. He doesn't say, he says that no one's going to be able to bond him out, and he doesn't have the means to himself.
All right.
And, Your Honor, my concern is what residency, if any, he's established in South Florida. The reports show an Oak Ridge, New Jersey address. I believe well, I'll leave it at that, but he does have drug priors out of the state of New Jersey.
I believe that was the same thing with his co-defendant this morning as well.
I suspected, but I couldn't remember.
All right.
He says he can reside with his girlfriend in Deerfield. They asked for his last address, and so that's why he gave that address.
Well, what does that mean? How long has he been in Florida?
A year, Judge, with his girlfriend in Deerfield.
And did we say that Mr. Cisco no priors or has priors?
Drug priors out of New Jersey.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe that those were all misdemeanors. Is that right? Yes.
All right, I'll release Mr. Cisco to pretrial supervision. Terrence, Mr. Cisco, if you don't appear for pretrial within 24 hours of your release, you will be arrested. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Cisco, we need him. What's your address?
You can use, I gave her the updated one of 212 East Hillsborough Boulevard.
Is it a house or apartment?
Apartment, unit 1322.
1322. What city is that?
Deerfield Beach.
You need the zip code? You have the zip code?
33443.
Okay. Got it? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Terrence?
Your Honor,
Yeah.
could we update the clerk as well so he can get notice?
Madam Clerk, what's required? Is that enough? Okay. Terrence Holland? Mr. Holland, you're before the court for count one, attempting to evade or defeat tax
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I have it corrected.
on Mr.
Mr.
Holland?
Holland, yes.
Okay. Did you double clip it? Yes. Is there more or less? They're just all corrected?
The offense level of of charge number 1 has been updated.
All right. All right, so on count one, you have, on-stamp cigarettes, evading tax. Count two is possession with intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver cocaine. Count three is possession with intent to sell, deliver, or manufacture cannabis. Count four is possession with intent to sell MDMA. And count five is possession of drug paraphernalia.
Your Honor, I'm just wanted to ask what the intent, is it the quantity alone?
Quantity, digital scale with residue, monetary, breakdown in monetary denominations.
All right, I do find probable cause as to bond.
Your Honor, I'd request that the court keep the bonds on 2 through 4 intact. I have no position on 1 and 5, frankly. His criminal history, 2012, delivery of cocaine. 2007, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or distribute, just under 15 and a half months, state prison. Strong arm robbery, 05, 17 months. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon and felony battery due to priors in 05, same prison sentence. Possession of cocaine, 03. Possession of cocaine, 2000. Nothing further.
Judge, I have no objection to keeping bonds in place.
All right. Keep the bonds in place. John Molina Medina.
Bonded, Judge.
Thank you. Stephen Premdas. Sir, you're before the court for driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense, and count two is a traffic capias matter. I do find probable cause. The traffic capias is also for driving while license suspended.
Your Honor, would we be able to pull that into the central clerk?
Well, yeah, the other one is here. So what does he wish to do?
He wishes the bonds to be left in place, but we were just requesting that the one in satellite be brought to central.
Okay. Madam Clerk, is that something you can handle from here? So they would have to do what? From who? Okay.
What did she say, Your Honor?
She said the state attorney's office would have to do a transfer.
The problem with that is my understanding is the only way that order could take effect is if it had I believe it'd be Judge Feld's signature also.
Oh, okay.
She has to relinquish.
All right. All right, so that's gonna take a little bit more than just me signing an order. Anthony Guzman.
bonded, they're saying.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, no, he wanted to transfer it to Central, but the clerk says that the Judge Feldman has to sign the order relinquishing. Anand Pahar Singh.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, okay, Mr. Pahar Singh, you're before the court for resisting officer with violence, resisting officer without violence, and trespass.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
yes.
Okay. So I do find probable cause. Does he have priors?
He does, Your Honor, as far as, Michelle, I don't know if you have anything more recent. I see his last case in Broward was a 2011 violation of an injunction that was dropped.
Okay. All right, no problem.
Is that the most recent you have? Yeah.
What's this, They wanted, his attorney wanted to talk to him.
Yes, okay.
Did you give me this? What's this one? Oh, we already did it?
Yes.
Good. Oh. All right, thank you. Yeah.
Judge, I just had an opportunity to speak to him. One of my concerns was he's in a wheelchair, but according to the PC, it appeared that he had been standing up, so I didn't know if there were any injuries. He indicated that he was injured, so we'd be asking for a photo.
Okay.
I will also tell the court that he's lived here, he said, for 6 years, that he currently has no money in the bank. He's not working. His mom lives here in the area. I'm not sure if he would be able to post any bond at this point. What I would be asking is if the court would consider either RORing him straight or just RORing him to pretrial release.
Okay. I'll RR him to pretrial supervision.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Pahar Singh, they're giving you that information for pretrial supervision. As soon as you're released from custody, you must report to pretrial supervision, otherwise you will be arrested, sir. Do you understand?
Okay, so I'll be let out
Yes.
now?
Yes, but once they let you out, you have to go to pretrial supervision on that paper that the deputy just handed to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And sir,
Okay.
also, if you have any injuries, make sure somebody takes photographs of them, okay? Don't talk about it now, just if you have injuries, make sure somebody takes pictures of them, okay?
It's the last time between my bone hole in between my thighs.
Just like I say, have them take photos of any injuries that you received, okay? Thank you.
All right.
All right. Okay, the Spanish interpreter is here, so we can go back to Jorge Ledesma. Mr. Ledesma, you're before the court for driving while license suspended.
Señor Ledesma, usted está acá enfrente de la corte por manejar con licencia suspendida.
And count 2 is operating unsafe vehicle with unsafe equipment.
El segundo cargo es manejar un vehículo con equipo que no era seguro.
Count 2 is not for magistrate.
El segundo cargo no es para la magistrada.
I do find probable cause.
Encuentro causa probable.
And the bond is $100 unless there's something else.
La fianza son $100.
No objection to the 100.
Okay.
No tienen objeción de los 100.
All right, so the bond is $100. Good luck, Mr. Ledesma.
$100 de fianza y que tenga buena suerte.
Is there anyone else who needs a Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más que necesita la intérprete? No, yo.
Thank you.
No one else.
Thank you. All right, let's go to our hearing docket. Let's do the misdemeanor one since we've already handled Mr. Redden. Carlos Irvin. Was that removed? Carlos Irvin.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good afternoon. On Carlos Irvin. All right, so the bond has been posted in this case. So I've just been told the bond has been posted. So good luck. Kirby Genote.
Conti?
Yes.
Your Honor, when he came through in his first appearance,
Yes.
you were advised he has multiple pending cases before Judge Porth.
Yes.
When I was speaking to Judge Lerner-Wren's JA, I asked if she could set Mr. Genote before Judge Lerner-Wren tomorrow morning. I don't know if he's seen Judge Porth yet.
Okay.
But this way, he can go in front of Judge Lerner-Wren and she can make sure that he's doing all right and whatever.
All right, he was shaking his head no about going to Judge Porth.
And that's why I thought that could be the case. So I wanted to make sure he would see a mental health judge.
All right, so Mr. Genote will go before Judge Lerner-Wren tomorrow.
And she's
Okay,
scheduling.
sir? All right, good luck, sir. And then on the felony docket, Andrei Agovanov. He has $1,500 worth of bonds.
He's saying he can't make a monetary bond, Judge.
Let me see. Let me see what we had.
He's been here nearly 2 years, a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Does he have priors? Andrei Agovanov.
One moment, Judge. When he's done over there, it's fine.
All right, what is it? Okay, he's on page 4 of the felony docket.
I'm sure you have notes, Michelle. I know there's some,
No, well, I remember this because this was just recently. This was the incident with the cutting the pipes at Lockhart Stadium. But I don't remember.
And Judge, he says he's welcome to go back to Lighthouse Sober Living. He had relapsed, but they were willing to take him back. So if you grant him standard pretrial, he'll be going back there.
something out of county.
Was there a pre-trial, was there a violation of pre-trial recent?
Yes, that was just last year with violation of pretrial. One of the things with him also,
That, yes. Well, no, I don't know about that. But one of the concerns was ties, because there was a New York address, there was yes.
And Your Honor, he would consider it if you gave him open schedule GPS to ameliorate the state's concern of flight risk, so that he can go to a sober living.
All right. And did we say he had priors? I don't remember. We were saying so many things all at once.
You showing any priors in New York?
Oh, just in New York?
I remember on his criminal history, he had priors all in New York.
Okay. All right. I will release Mr. Aganov on level 2 GPS.
Your Honor, would you be inclined to give him a curfew, because he does do labor pool and car wash to be able to pay for the sober living? Maybe give him a 7 p.m. curfew instead level 2?
My understanding was that isn't it open when he's just on the level 2? He can go to work.
Yeah.
Only if you submit a schedule, but the labor pool isn't a schedule type place, Judge. It's where you kind of pick up work rate.
Well, he's got to be on a schedule. When? Okay.
Maybe a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. schedule curfew. Just because of the precarious nature of the labor pool.
Oh, all right. Okay, then he'll get his schedules. Not what? What is the time you're asking for?
I'm asking for 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Curfew, so that, because labor pool doesn't have a set schedule, it's not a regular employment. It's kind of like, do they have
No,
work
I know
today?
what labor pool is, but it's usually construction work. They're done way before 7 o'clock. So.
Okay, well, whatever curfew you think. I know that sober living places are usually 7 p.m.
Car wash closes at 8.
Car wash closes at 8 p.m.?
No, not doing that. He's till 5 p.m. He's got to be in.
5 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have to be home by 5?
You do.
All right, good luck, sir. All right, I guess I started in the middle of the docket. Grayville Libird.
No browser, pal.
Thank you.
And this is a motion to release.
Yes.
State has not filed an information at this time. Mr. LeBird Jr. is entitled to an ROR on these charges at this time.
All right, Mr. LeBird, I'll sign an order releasing on your own recognizance. The state has not filed formal charges within 30 days since you've been arrested. It does not mean that they cannot file the charges now, but what it means is that you'll be released, and you need to pay attention to the mail to see if they do file the charges, and if they do, when you have to return to court. Okay? All right, good luck, sir. Donnell Baines?
No, bro.
Yes. Who's
No, he was just asking your name.
Oh,
How you
okay.
doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Gaines.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well. He's also here for a 30-day motion.
Your Honor, it's a motion to release. The state filed the resisting with violence and declined the trespassing charge.
Okay, when was it filed?
It was filed Today, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gaines, you were brought before the court to determine whether or not the state has filed the charges within the required time, and I'm told that they have. And today they filed the information on the resisting with violence only. They didn't file for the trespassing. Okay? So there's no action for me to take today.
So I'm not getting up to. So I won't be getting out.
Not today.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
all right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good luck, sir.
All right.
Bakari Artis. Bakari. Where? Paul Ryan?
Paul Ryan. Your Honor, can I have a minute to confer with my attorney? I've been writing him. Michael for Barrett.
Okay.
Yeah, I can talk to him real quick.
You can have a minute to confer with your attorney. That's okay.
Okay, I'm in court right now. That's all you can. Okay, I'll call you back.
Okay. All works out well. So
It does. Judge, I'm Mr. Artis. As I indicated to the court, he has been trying to call me. I've been out of the office with the flu for like the last week and a half. His mom also has tried to call. I did try to respond to her yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, but the phone rang and I couldn't get through to anybody. What I would tell the court is this is a situation where Judge Malika placed him on pretrial release with a monitor that the pretrial will not let him be released because he owes them money for a prior incident. And so because of that, he's stuck. He can't bond out because he's ROR'd, but they won't give him a monitor, so he can't get out on the monitor. So what I would be asking the court to do is this. I would ask the court to just place him on either standard pretrial release or to reinstate the original bond that was set, which was, I believe, $750. That way he has the opportunity to at least get out one way or the other.
Yes.
Just to let the court know, I believe the reason why Judge Malika insisted upon a monitor is the last time that Mr. Artis, I imagine, was on pretrial. There was an issue with, and Michelle, do you have notes there?
Oh.
He pays the balance that is owed for the lost equipment, then he can get another monitor.
And I'm not
Wait,
even,
he was on an anchor monitor and the monitor got lost?
He lost the equipment, yes.
Your Honor, I would like to
Sir,
put,
don't talk about
almost,
the facts, okay?
So that's the money that's owed, is for, we never recovered the monitor, the GPS, is that correct? All right. I'm gonna just reinstate the $750 bond, at this time.
That's fine, Judge.
All right? Okay. Demetrius Evans,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. We have Demetrius Evans.
he's out of custody.
Out of custody. And Roderick Underwood. All right, Mr. Underwood is back for a second look on his bond status. How much bond does, well,
One moment, Judge.
He's got $1,700 worth of bond. And
do you have notes on it?
all right, I've re-reviewed the PC.
And Your Honor, he says that he is requesting some kind of pretrial release. He doesn't have the ability to make a monetary bond because of he's the last one left on his mother's side. You said, yeah. Yes.
And does Mr. Underwood have prior state?
He does, Your Honor, and I'm just looking, frankly, at the aliases he's used in the past. I don't know what his name is. I've got Leonard Farrington, James Farrington, Bernard Johnson.
I'm sure pretrial will be able to figure it out. Judge, he can also live with his girlfriend, so he has a residence and he's the provider for his girlfriend. And
I'm sorry, pretrial. What were you saying? All right, I'm gonna deny pretrial. The bonds will remain in place. Gary Mitchell.
Okay, and I believe Your Honor raised Mr. Mitchell's bond.
I don't have.
Yes, Your Honor raised it to $5,000 plus pretrial release of the GPS monitor, and that is because he has 3 pending cases right now: grand theft, another grand theft with a petty theft, and a DUI.
All right, I'm going to deny pretrial supervision at this time. The bonds will remain in place. Good luck, sir. Is that the end of our dockets?
Celeste and Maine, I believe.
All right,
Conti, Your Honor.
Oh, there's more at Conti.
There's always one more.
Yes?
I have the gentleman from this morning, even though he's not on the docket.
Who was
the computer? Mr. Taylor, Michael Taylor.
Oh, was that the change of charge? Oh, yeah. Then we don't have the paper. See. This is what happens.
So, was he on the docket at all, or? Yes. Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. But that is. I did the change of charge this morning, but I don't have the new paperwork for this afternoon's ad charge. It never made it down? All right. All right, Mr. Taylor, I apologize, but they didn't bring the paperwork down for the other charge that they said they had pending. Okay? So we'll reset it. I'll make sure it gets on the docket soon. All right, take care, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right. I think we're at the end. Thank you, everyone.